I want to know more about how this actually happens so I can protect myself. I can protect, at that point, it was my future family, but now my family, my daughter. And then how do we also protect the rest of our community? I mean, how many, especially as school's starting, I saw how many kids on the way to school. A lot of them walk to the bus by themselves.
Sure.
So could happen at that point. You don't want to think about that as a parent, but it's reality. So it's just, that's where it originated from, is how do we protect ourselves, our families, and our community, and abroad as well. My personal focus is definitely our community too, because I plan to stay here for a long time. So I want to make sure it's a safe community.
Very good.
The very latest on economic development, workforce, and industry sector news in Southern Colorado. Here is Business Digest Weekly with our host, Dirk Hobbs.
Good Friday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Business Digest Weekly. I'm your host, Dirk Hobbs. Glad you're with us. Friday afternoon here in Southern Colorado, about 3 o'clock, and we are going headlong into the weekend. Going to be a great one here. Kids are back in school, so watch yourself out on the roadways. I've got a senior in high school, and she's got a good 2 years under her belt with driving, but she is a senior in high school. Did I mention that? And she is no doubt in good company when it comes to drivers who have lots of things going on in their world, lipstick and So anyway, the adults in the room, give them a little room. They'll settle down into their routine and it'll be okay again. But hopefully you get your mornings back and get your afternoons back a little bit as well and have some fun. Hopefully everybody has a good school year this year. We all behave ourselves. And all is well. So anyway, welcome to the weekend. Almost here. We're going to wrap up with some conversation around something special that we do every year with our good friends over at the Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group. And as you know, they are one of our sponsors here. You see them all over our stuff. And I have Chelsey Valerio in the house. She and I are just going to banter about this golf tournament that we do every year called the Ambassadors for Hope. It's our third annual so far. And this thing has picked up a head of steam like you wouldn't believe, folks. So we want to give you some insights into what's going on because the beneficiary is really the story here. It's the Exodus Road. They are a phenomenal group headquartered here in Colorado Springs, but they have offices all over East Asia and now parts of South America. And they've got other operations throughout the state of Colorado and some other parts of the United States. So great group, the Exodus Road. And what they do is they go in and they extract people from a life of being trafficked, whether it's sexual human trafficking or work labor trafficking, basically. And so we've talked about this a couple times on the program, and it is obviously a heartbreaking topic because it's actually happening here in our state. The I-25 corridor, at any given time, you could be passing a vehicle or a vehicle passing you where the occupants of that vehicle are being trafficked. And that is obviously something we want to put an end to. And we want to get you involved as our listeners to make either a contribution or get involved on some level, volunteering with a lot of different organizations in the community who are picking up the pieces of those lives that are affected by human trafficking. And I got to tell you, folks, this obviously any father out there, but certainly, and mother, of course, but particularly fathers of daughters, when you contemplate this, what may come to mind is the Liam Neeson movies, Taken, and of course, Sound of Freedom, that was done so well just a few years ago. Those things are happening, folks. They're not as prolific as the white van sitting on the corner, but actually that does happen as well. And in some of the sanctuary communities, it's becoming more and more emboldened, if you will. So we'll talk about that as well. Anyway, we'll get to Chelsey here in just a second, but I want to welcome our listeners to check out SoCoDigest.com. We have our new edition out, our AI special edition. So we cover a lot of real estate on artificial intelligence and how it's going to impact your business. So there's no way around this. I think everybody's kind of resigned to the fact that AI is going to touch every industry that exists, period. So whether you're working at a fast food restaurant, a landscaping company, or an orthopedics firm, or a media company, doesn't matter. AI is going to touch your business. And rather than fearing it and loathing it and just anecdotally repeating the sentiment of it's just going to replace everybody, it's actually not true. We have the wheel here, folks. We have the opportunity to determine whether or not AI is going to be a very effective tool for what we need to accomplish in our businesses, or that it's going to take over and do things we don't want it to do. So there's nefarious players out there, and there's people who just want to create efficiencies and make business a little more streamlined and effective for their customers. So we have a choice. It really does come down to our choice and how we make sure that we implement aspects of artificial intelligence in our business effectively and get everybody on board. So we actually understand more about AI than you probably recognize if you're not familiar with it at all, because we have processes in our business, and those processes are run by people. Now, in some cases, we can automate those processes with artificial intelligence, make our consumers' experience a little better, a little shorter wait time, whatever efficiency we can talk about. But then the human being that was in that role, manually manipulating that process, can now move on to something else that the business needs, something that has more value associated with it, and certainly has more of a revenue line item to it than a cost item. So think about it in those lights. And then what I did with it, Chelsey, I don't know about you, and welcome to the program, by the way.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. I don't know about you, but I spent the first 6 months just playing with it.
Absolutely.
Okay. You download some apps and you try to navigate, because there's not a lot of instruction there. You know, they're just apps, and there's a few toolbars and that's it. But this is really one of those things where I had to play with it and see the fun side of it, right? Like creating an elephant in a Rolls Royce that's driving through a McDonald's or something like that. Right. I actually did that. And I created this image of an elephant in a Rolls Royce driving through a McDonald's, right? Wearing sunglasses. And it created and I said, make it a sketch. So it did a sketch. Then make it a Renaissance painting, and it did that. And then make it a photograph, and it did that. And it looked really cool, and it was fun. But I started to see what the different parts and pieces for AI were, and it was fun. And then I started gently tiptoeing into create an email. Okay, use my tone, my voice, my ways of speaking, right? And it's learning me. Right?
It does.
So where are you at with AI?
Yeah. So at first, I think just like pretty much anybody, a little creeped out by it. And I was like, oh, okay. And the other thing that comes to mind is iRobot, right? So
right. The vacuum?
No, the movie.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah, I've got an iRobot vacuum at home. That's
valid.
And
similar.
That barely works.
Similar. I mean, depending on the brand, it kind of navigates, right? They're getting kind of smart. But no, so initially I wasn't really, I was like, okay, I'll use it here and there and whatnot. But in our very fast-paced world, it's actually become a massive tool. And I think you'll ask any industry as well, especially in the marketing industry and whatnot. Oh, it's a massive tool, especially when you're speaking to a very large segment of, very different demographics in, any kind of campaigns and whatnot. So, but the nice part is it learns you. It learns your tone. And you can input like, hey, I want this kind of tone. I want this, but it learns you. one of my closest friends is actually a marketer out in Florida, and she put in a prompt. And I was like, I'm going to use that same prompt and see what it puts out. And it's basically like, tell me about myself, from what you've learned about me.
Okay.
Who am I as a professional and also just as a human? And what it spits out, I was actually like, oh, wow. Okay, well, you're not wrong.
Was it very judgmental?
So, no, it was actually very on point in multiple facets. Obviously,
so wait a
not
minute.
all, but
let me understand this.
Yeah.
You entered the prompt. Tell me about me.
Yep.
As in me, Chelsey Valerio?
Yep, me as a human. And just because I've been using it probably, and as long as you're on the same account, obviously, if you have multiple accounts, it's not going to learn you as efficiently. But when you have the same account, and I've been using it probably for a little bit over about a year, maybe a year and a half at this point.
Got it.
It's learned what I do.
Okay.
How I do things.
Interesting.
And my tone of voice with certain things. I will say that sometimes it has an attitude. I'm not going to lie. But I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. And it's like, oh, sorry. I didn't mean it that way. And I'm like, okay.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It comes back with that?
It's a full conversation. So how I picture AI, especially in today's world, it's about as candidly dumb as it will ever be. But it's going to continue advancing into a massive tool. Like you said, we have the wheel with it. That's the key. I don't believe it will ever get to a point to where it's like the movies have depicted.
Like
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Odyssey, yeah.
I hope not, anyways, and at least hopefully not in our day and age nor our children's day and age. But it's a massive tool, and I think it's helped across many spectrums.
Have you seen efficiencies in your job?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It gives you your time back, which we all know, especially as business. Time is money. So, when you can improve your efficiencies.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's not always the most accurate, so you got to correct it and kind of help it learn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rationalization of your own that has to go into things as well. So, some people will say, well, are you critically thinking anymore? Well, yes, you have to. If you're not using it properly.
Correct.
So, yeah, I find it as a massive tool.
Well, I'd love to know some of the tools you've actually chosen to use besides ChatGPT.
Right.
We're hanging out with Chelsey Valerio. She's Director of Marketing over at Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group, which is a major sponsor of this program. They help us meet all the great people that you listen to every Friday afternoon or watch on YouTube or listen to on Spotify and iHeart and Apple podcasts. So thank you to you all for being our partner. We really appreciate you. But thank you for being here and being a partner on this Ambassadors for Hope golf tournament. We're going to talk a little bit about that throughout the hour and just kind of see if we can't get some folks motivated to come out and play with us.
Love it.
All right. Back in a moment.
My experience with Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group has been top-notch. The whole orthopedic group, they've worked very well together. Even when I've gone through PT or needed to get my collar prosthetic, everybody's been just right on top of it. It's all centralized and the communications have been awesome. Even though I had my nervousness about going into surgery, I was still very confident. I knew I was going to be okay. Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group is definitely getting me back to my life and the things that I want to do.
All right, we're back here, second quarter Business Digest Weekly. I'm your host, Dirk Hobbs. It is about 3:15 in the afternoon here in Southern Colorado. We are just, an hour and 45 minutes away from your first cold toddy. And you are allowed to go get it. So fire up the blenders, or at least get them out of the cabinet, and go get a bag of ice and some mix. And let's summer's coming to a close here. So let's make sure we enjoy these closing weekends here, the warm weather. The deciduous trees are still loaded full of leaves. It's beautiful out there. And before long, we're going to be locked in our houses, shivering and all that good stuff. But fortunately, we have the holidays between to take our minds off how cold it is outside. So Chelsey Valerio is hanging out with us. She is Director of Marketing over at Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group. If you want to hang out with them and get to know them, check out csog.net. That's CSOG.net. These folks are great folks. I've known a lot of the physicians in there for many, many years, and very compassionate, skilled group of folks. If you get some bumps and bruises, twist some things up, come over and see those folks. They'll take very good care of you from first encounter all the way through rehab, and beyond. So glad you're here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we were talking about AI. I want to go back to that for a minute. But before I do, I'm going to remind the listeners, we are going to talk about this Ambassadors for Hope golf tournament. This is something that CSOG and Colorado Media Group are partnered in on. And we are honored to do this every year. And it's a lot of hard work. Chelsey does a lot of the hard lifting behind the scenes. We're the media group out there promoting it. And then our beneficiary is called the Exodus Road. And these folks, if you didn't hear us in the first quarter here, these folks help extract people out of the life of human being trafficked. And every day, not every day, probably once every 2 or 3 days, I get a text message from the Exodus Road. And it's very ambiguous, but it says 3 girls were rescued from a camp in Bolivia, or 500 senior citizen level folks were released from a work camp in Cambodia. And I get these messages every couple of days. And it just shows that this is kind of their dashboard, if you will, but it shows the work they're actually doing. You have to sign up for it.
Yeah.
To agree to get their text. But they will send you these, and then they'll send you a little link within the text that kind of gives you a little more detail. Obviously, it doesn't release the name of the folks that were released, but it does say, 4 people were arrested or 15 people were arrested and taken into custody by so-and-so authorities, which I love. So you're actually seeing a measurable result. Yeah. It's not this behind the curtains thing going on. It's actually happening. And so it's very sobering. You're sitting there having a conversation like this, and all of a sudden you get this message, and I'm like, 4 girls were released from this sex camp in this remote part of the world. 4 people that were, for all intents and purposes, lost souls, right, are now reanimated and brought back into civilization, and their perpetrators are sideways with the law. So scary stuff, but very scary. Reaffirming that this work is being done. I'm sorry that it has to be done at all, but I'm glad there's somebody out there doing it. So Chelsey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. We were talking about AI for a minute there. And I like it because you said something during the break that I want other folks to hear about the efficiencies of AI and how it works in a medical clinic, right? And how it's being utilized to create efficiencies. Absolutely. So unpack that a little bit and what you're seeing.
Yeah. So across our medical practice and just medical practices in general, you'll ask any physicians and whatnot, more and more people are getting injured or need care one way or another, which means more people are filling clinics. Well, how do we make sure that we efficiently still spend the same quality time with everybody, but also make sure that we have the proper documentation all done? Dictation. AI is helping tremendously with that. Now, it's still done by our physicians, right?
Of course.
But
it has to be.
It does.
Yeah.
But AI is helping with that to ensure that, okay, hey, great, you saw this patient, great, let's dictate all of this. Cool, awesome, you're done. Now you can move on to the next one. 5 minutes at most.
Wow.
So you're running through clinic, still again, spending the quality time with every single patient, but making sure that you have the most comprehensive documentation that you need for insurance purposes, for medical record purposes, for, your, for your
reimbursement and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also just for your, there's a lot of patients who have additional physicians for specialists or even their primary care and whatnot.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It's comprehensive for every single one of those doctors who needs that information. So our physicians work with cardiac, our physicians work with endocrine, and, oncologist and whatnot. And all of those physicians need to be on this exact same page for a single patient.
Right.
So AI is actually helping to ensure that no matter how many patients are scheduled to be in clinic that day, the physician can actually document comprehensively. So again, that patient is getting the best care from every single physician, no matter what.
So it's actually optimizing integrated care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or at least the communication aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's a huge win. That itself is probably worth the money spent there.
Yep.
What kinds of tools are they using to get that done?
It just kind of depends. I mean, I'm not going to lie, there's, also being part web developer, there are people out there spending days and hours on AI, and you'll see a new platform pop up every week.
True.
So a lot of the EMR systems or electronic medical record systems are developing their own AIs that integrate directly within.
Got it.
There's also some third parties that can come in, whatnot. There's additional logistics obviously behind that, but yeah, so we don't use any distinct one. It's actually physician decided or EMR decided.
Got it.
So
okay. Are you guys on Epic as well, or do you use a different
we use
EMR?
a different one for right now.
Okay, for ortho.
Yep.
How about you in the marketing side of the world? Because, part of your job is content creation, right? So you can use prompts to get that done.
Yeah.
Is it kind of figuring out how you envision your marketing plan being executed?
Absolutely. And there's always the big picture strategy, but within the big picture strategy on an annual basis, if you will, or even, 2-year, 3-year, 4-year basis, there's so much that goes into that. And each one has different rationalizations on why we do it, but they also have different audiences. They have different creatives that go in it. They have different, just getting into marketing lingo and whatnot. There's a whole lot more that goes into the SEM side of it, the SEO side of it, the, whatever. So it helps tremendously to build everything so it's all comprehensive to come up to the big picture strategy that is overarching KPIs.
Got it.
So,
okay. And what about patient experience? Are you seeing optimization efficiencies there?
We are actually. Patients have been coming in and they don't, even if it's unbeknownst to them, we're seeing the efficiency side of it. We're able to improve the quickness of our scheduling times. We're able to,
Excellent.
Whether it be check-in process, all of that's a whole lot more efficient, more timeliness. You're not having to have people show up 30, 45 minutes before an appointment anymore. Okay,
Right.
show up 10, 15 minutes. Cool. We got you in.
That's a win right there in and of itself. Very
Again, it
good.
gives time back. So.
Well, we're about to go to break here in a few minutes, but I want to start leading into this conversation about this Ambassadors for Hope golf tournament. It is actually, you named it.
We named it.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I remember sitting there with Suze Hess. They were part of another group that we worked with, and we were bouncing ideas off one another. And you said, "What about Ambassadors for Hope?" And I think we all just stopped and looked at you and said, "I think that's it." Yeah. So, marketing expertise, but nonetheless, passion project for both of us.
Absolutely. I think this is one of those things where our CEO, he deals with me. And
Self-awareness is good, Chelsey. That's awesome.
Self-diagnosed ADHD. But one day skipped down the hallway and I was like, I have an idea. And he's like, oh, good Lord. Okay, what? And I was like, what if we put on a charity golf tournament? And simply because I know exactly who we need to go to, and it's a very prevalent issue, and it's not about us. That's the thing. It's not about us. And then, funny enough, I think we met like 2 days later.
And I had a very similar.
You had a very similar idea, and
here we are.
thus came the tournament. So
Here came the tournament. About 3 years ago, we started out at Flying Horse. We had it there for 2 years.
Yep.
We've helped to raise some decent money for, who was the first group? I can't remember.
Reclaiming Hope.
Reclaiming Hope. Yes, that was Suze Hess's group. Now, those folks in the human trafficking storyline are actually meeting folks as they come out of the life, and they're kind of giving them their first steps back into civilian life, if you will, with dignity bags is what I ended up calling them. But it's basically your basic items, your toothbrush, your hairbrush, and things that are yours to use and yours only. A lot of the folks that are trapped in that life, they don't get that.
No.
They are literally objects. and the stories are harrowing and heartbreaking. And that's part of what makes this mission field so attractive is they are where they are against their will. Mm-hmm. And that goes against everything we stand for as American citizens and just people in general, I think. Enslavement is not, you think that's a word from the past, but it's not. It's very current. But when we come back, I want to explore your heart for the mission because I know you just had a baby girl recently, and that does put a finer point on it.
Oh, yes.
It does. So when we come back, I want to talk about your heart for the mission and then some of the details that the folks can get into. Sound good? All right, folks, we're back in a minute with the second half of Business Digest Weekly. All right, second half here of Business Digest Weekly. I'm your host, Dirk Hobbs. Welcome back. We're hanging out with Chelsey Valerio. She is the Director of Marketing over at the Premier Orthopedics Group in the community, Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group. You can find them on the web at csog.net. That's csog.net. They are one of our premier partners here for the Southern Colorado Business Forum and Digest and the Business Digest Weekly. And we really appreciate you, of course. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It's fun to have you here because we are partnered on multiple levels. One of those is why we're here today, which is to talk about the Ambassadors for Hope golf tournament. So if you happen to be at your desk still and have a moment to jot down this URL, I encourage you to do so. It's Ambassadors for, F-O-R, Hope, COS.com. Beautiful website there. Big golf ball right in your face. Beautiful, lush, green tee box, it looks like. Anyway, we're doing it at Kissing Camels this year. We're going to give the course out at Flying Horse a break for a little while, and we're going to go spend some time out at Kissing Camels overlooking the amazing Garden of the Gods. And, of course, it's a great track through a great neighborhood here in Colorado Springs. October 6th is the event, and we want to make sure you have every opportunity to, no pun intended, tee up a foursome. Bring a foursome to the tournament. Every dollar you put into this goes right to the Ambassadors for Hope beneficiary, who is the Exodus Road. These folks help extract people out of being trafficked, whether it's labor trafficking or sex trafficking or any other form of trafficking that may be out there. These folks are working hard in covert operations as well as overt operations to extract young men and women, and of course, some older folks as well who are being forced into the labor camps. So amazing work, amazing body of work. They're headquartered here in Colorado Springs, but they also do a lot of work all over the world. And in fact, one of the founders is deputized in Thailand to actually work with the authorities there to get some of these folks out of this business as much as they can. So, Chelsey, glad you're here. Glad you're a partner on this. You just had a daughter.
I did.
A little while ago now, but she's still a baby.
Yep.
And she, having a child, definitely puts a finer point on protecting your children.
Yeah, mama bear status came full blown.
Full blown?
Yep, full blown. On multiple different facets.
Right on. Mama bear status. I love it. Okay. But this touched your heart even before she came along.
Yep.
So what motivated you to kind of steer in this direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Part of it's probably coming just from the female perspective as well. It's one of those things, even especially as it gets darker, as we get a little bit later in the year and whatnot, even walking out of our building by myself, it's, we're not always all leaving as a team. So it's, having my keys between my fingers, just in case.
That's right.
You just never know. And especially with some of these traffickers, they stalk, and unbeknownst to the victim. And they will do it for a while before, and then they'll someday make their attempt. And you just never know. There's obviously things that, thanks to social media, it's like, oh, I never thought of checking that. I never thought of checking my car as I come out from a grocery store. But guess what I do now?
Yeah.
I check my tires because who knows? Somebody might have put a tracker on there. You just never know. Not that they're all identical. So,
Sure.
but you still, it's in the back of your head. So that's probably where it originated from me or for me, is, you know, kind of selfishly of, I want to know more about how this actually happens so I can protect myself. I can protect, at that point, it was my future family, but now my family, my daughter. And then how do we also protect the rest of our community? I mean, how many, especially as school's starting, I saw how many kids on the way to school. A lot of them walk to the bus by themselves.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
could happen at that point. You don't
Early
want to
morning.
think about that as a parent, but it's reality. You know, so it's just, that's where it originated from, is how do we protect ourselves, our families, and our community, and abroad as well. My personal focus is definitely our community too, because I plan to stay here for a long time.
Plan
So
to
I want to
hang
make
out.
sure,
Good
I want to
news.
make sure it's a safe community.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, what about the topic specifically? When you hear about it and you see it in movies or films or commentary, what comes to mind? You know, Colorado Springs, southern Colorado, I should say. Obviously, we have the I-25 corridor running through here. So a lot of the folks are coming up from the south, you know, the border basically, coming up through here. And it's not that every, you know, Mexican tag is a human trafficker, right? Sometimes people are just tourists and they're coming through. So we want to caution everybody, you know, not to formulate this unsubstantiated bias against any car that might look run down a little bit or have Mexican tags on it or New Mexican tags on it or whatever. Because that's obviously, that's not what's happening. I mean, that is happening, but it's not every episode, right? It's not every person that you drive by. But it's also more than that. Suze Hess told you and I when we were sitting with her one day, 70% of this human trafficking in the United States actually starts in the family.
Yeah.
You know, or there's a family connection.
Yeah.
Or it could be a family friend, you know. So it does hit close to home. If you were to hear about a situation in your neighborhood where you thought a child or a woman or a young boy or whatever was being victimized by that, what action would you take?
It's hard. It's hard because at what point do you also present yourself as a potential with it too? But you, again, you have to protect. So, you know, what I would do,
It's tough.
It is tough. It's hard to think about. You know, obviously authorities involved as discreetly as you possibly could make it.
Right.
Right. But that's the beauty of the Exodus Road is they actually provide education on how, if you do see something that's a little fishy or something that makes your gut turn and you're like, that's...
You're not quite sure why. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, they provide the education to, this would be the next step to take. These are the things to watch out for. Nice part, they have all those things listed on the website, you know.
They do.
And so it'd be hard. I live in a great neighborhood anymore, so I would hope to God that never actually happened. But again, it starts in the family, and I believe that's called grooming. And it's... You'd have to be in the situation, I think, to be like, what do I do? You know?
On their website right now, it says behind every number beats a heart.
Right.
So statistics are notorious for being cold, just facts and figures, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they are what they are.
Right.
But this puts a human face on it. Of course, you know, they've done a great job with putting a little girl there who's obviously in a bad situation. She's scared. She's not sure what's next. But I like that. I like that language right up front, behind every number. So you hear, you know, upwards of 2 million or 50 million people, as indicated on their website, are trapped in some form of modern slavery.
Right.
Okay. 50 million.
That's an insane number.
Okay. There's 340 million-ish people here in the United States. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's 1 in every 6 people. Mm-hmm. Maybe 1 in every 7 people. I'm not a statistician, as you can tell, that are somehow trapped in the life. And here it says behind every one of those numbers, behind every 50 million numbers, between 1 and 50 million, is somebody with a heartbeat, a life that they had, a family. And it just breaks our heart. Mm-hmm. But you can go to theexodusroad.com. Mm-hmm. And you can see the freedom stories. You can see their solution. And you can see about human trafficking. And to your point, Chelsey, learn how to see and observe the signs and maybe what to do about it.
Yep, absolutely. And it comes from a place of the initial passion, if you will, to support their efforts comes from fear, right? I mean, you wake up, you are going about your day, and God forbid, but you don't see your child. They're not where they're supposed to be. Your heart, I mean, it gives me chills just thinking about it, right? So
I'm with you.
Makes me want to tear up a little bit, but that's the reality is it's a normal day until it's not. And now I think it's translated more into from fear into being aware. Mm-hmm. And that's the education that they're able to provide. But it's also just what's happening around and how is this happening? Because it's also adapting every single day. But they're the ones on the heels of that, if you will.
And it's a cash business, folks. Make no mistake. These operators know exactly what they're doing. And, they're amateur child psychologists. They're amateur a lot of things, including amateur human beings, frankly, these perpetrators.
Oh, they're evil.
They're just downright evil. But it is a business operation, and it is very sophisticated, unfortunately, and it is driven by dollars. Mm-hmm. And the porn industry obviously doesn't help because that fuels the appetite for this debauchery. And folks, we just, we want to put it out there because we want businesses to get involved. Right. We want industry to be involved and take a fiduciary posture as it relates to this epidemic that is happening in our culture. And the United States, as I've said multiple times, in my estimation, we're a bit soul sick as it relates to this because we're fueling this industry with the complete insatiable appetite we have for pornography and adult content, and it's got to stop. And a couple years ago, I had Ricky Schroeder on here, who lives in Grand Junction now, actor from Silver Spoon's days back in the 80s. This guy is working with congressional leaders all over the country to try to get all that content moved over into the XXX domains exclusively and not have to fight with it when kids are just searching benign topics for their report. Mm-hmm. But when we come back, Chelsey and I are going to lighten up a little bit, and we're going to talk about this golf tournament that we would like to invite you to as a sponsor, as a player, and everything in between.
My experience with Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group has been top-notch. The whole orthopedic group, they've worked very well together. Even when I've gone through PT or needed to get my collar prosthetic, everybody's been just right on top of it. It's all centralized and the communications have been awesome. Even though I had my nervousness about going into surgery, I was still very confident. I knew I was going to be okay. Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group is definitely getting me back to my life and the things that I want to do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fourth quarter of Business Digest Weekly. Again, I'm your host, Dirk Hobbs. I'm hanging out with the lovely Chelsey Valerio. She is the Director of Marketing over at Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group and a wonderful community partner, not just with us, but a number of other initiatives here throughout the community. And I welcome you again for the fourth time, but certainly appreciate you being in the studios because I know you're a busy lady. You got a lot going on. You got a lot of doctors to wrangle over there. So, and I got that T-shirt. So I've been wrangling doctors before, but great people. And I just, I want to applaud and take a moment of appreciation for you having the ability to present to your senior leadership team and then your physician group taking a look at this and saying, yep, I think we can identify and we want to get behind that. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. It was a pretty unanimous, let's do it. Mm-hmm. So when we have multiple physicians and then our CEO and then a couple other leaders within the practice also come out every single year, and they're first ones, the moment I say, hey, who wants to play? They're 30 seconds.
Oh, nice. That does not hurt.
Yep.
And these are busy docs, so they are actually out of clinic, not making money that day. So they certainly believe in it. And we obviously see Simpson out there every year, and how's his golf game, by the way?
Oh, it's great.
Is it coming along?
Oh, yeah. He loves it.
Very good. Well, we're talking about the Ambassadors for Hope Golf Tournament that's happening October 6th at Kissing Camels. I'm going to turn the mic over to Chelsey. She's going to give you a lot of information here about the tournament, logistics, sponsorship opportunities. We're going to have Fox 21 coming out there, doing some live remotes and showcasing all the great folks that are coming out to play and donate their time and treasure to the Exodus Road. If you want to look up the Exodus Road online, go to theexodusroad.com. And of course, CSOG.net is our partner there. You can always see them for a number of reasons, from mild sprains all the way to some pretty severe trauma and broken faculties on our body. But this is a wonderful group of human beings that take good care of you from first encounter all the way through rehab and beyond. The Ambassadors for Hope Golf Tournament website is the ambassadorsforhopecos.com. Beautiful website designed by the lovely Chelsey here. And but also there's a lot that goes into this. So we're trying to raise about $50,000 for the Exodus Road. And I think if memory serves, Chelsey, about every $1,200 they receive helps one life transition out of this life. It helps them pay for the manpower to go get these folks out of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, talk to us about the tournament. Tell us, first of all, we have a lot of sponsorship opportunities out there. I really want to get folks excited about this because the sponsorship dollars go right to this mission.
Absolutely.
And they get put into motion with that manpower.
Yeah, they do. Neither Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group nor Colorado Media Group wants a penny of this. So every single penny goes to the Exodus Road, something we hold near and dear to our hearts too. Mm-hmm. We players, we want a full course. So I think we have yesterday there was probably 40 or so registered. So we have a lot of spots left. Yep. Come on out. Original pricing is $275 per player, but we do have a VIP package as well. It's $300. Little upgraded swag and whatnot.
Right Very
couple
good.
drink vouchers.
Drink vouchers. On a golf
that
course?
5 o'clock somewhere, right?
I didn't know that.
What time are we in the show? But so, anyways, and then we have we have tons of room for players. So bring anybody, everybody. And then sponsorship wise, we actually have a number of sponsorships. We did make them a little bit more affordable this year to try and hope and encourage more to join in. Mm-hmm. So like our top tier sponsors are our Eagle sponsors. Yes, they all have golf names. I'm not going to lie. That was help of my husband as well, who is very avid in golf.
He's very good too.
But we have 2 of those available. We've got a couple birdie sponsors left. And let's see, we've got some par sponsors left, drink cart sponsors, who anybody wants to help with those drink vouchers, if you will.
I think I've got somebody for that.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. Well, awesome. Let's confirm that one.
But if not, hey, we can always use 2 drink tickets per person.
Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier, right? But hole-in-one sponsor, we've got Close to this Pin, a couple others, and then we are very open to in-kind sponsors as well.
Very good.
So whatever that means for you. Mm-hmm. So ways that you can go on to register is just ambassadorsforhopecos.com/register. It'll take you directly to the page. And then sponsorship wise, it'll ambassadorsforhope.cos.com/sponsor. That will actually put you in touch with me. We'll get it secured. Go from there.
And it's very efficient, folks. All the sponsors end up applauding how we do this. It's amazing how many come back. Yeah. Some take a break every now and again because of economic factors that they're facing, but it's really refreshing to see a lot of the same faces come out because they love the cause as well.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I know I have just a lot of people that we work with just within the practice. They're like, hey, when's the tournament? And it's January. Wow. So they're the first ones to register. They're super excited. Don't even have to question them. So it's great to have the recurring involvement from our community partners as well. So yeah, just want to welcome more and more people into that.
Well, it's kind of neat to see it manifest. You know, you and I are behind the scenes, so we're scrambling. And of course, we get that anxiety attack every week saying, we're not quite there. But the folks do tend to come on board at the, Colorado Springs tends to be a last minute town sometimes.
It's the 5 o'clock summer hour.
It's the 5.
I'm going to hang on to that all show.
Amen. But, I got to tell you, it's fascinating, the diversity of players that come out there. Some are just hackers and beginners like me, or some are scratch golfers. We got teams from Air Force coming out. We got teams from CC coming out. And, these kids are ballers, right?
Okay.
I mean, they got 280 to 310 yard drives. They're playing scratch golf. They're picking their shots, which is beautiful, but they're having a blast out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And then you got the guys who are in the construction world. They're coming out. And then, of course, everything in between. And it's fun to watch everybody come together, sit and listen to this presentation by Laura Parker, who is amazing. She's one of the founders and chief executive officer for the Exodus Road. She comes out, and it's not this monolithic presentation. It is a powerful, short, concise presentation that gives you an idea of what's happening, how it's happening, and how your contributions and your awareness and your education about the topic start to reduce the problem day by day. Okay? And it is a massive mountain we've got to climb here, but we're going to climb it together. So the day itself, October 6th.
Yep.
What time do we tee off again?
Check-in opens at 7, which means range opens at 7. We'll do shotgun start at 9 a.m.
Got it.
So
are we going to feed these people?
Yep, absolutely.
Twice, actually,
twice. If not, we're looking at potential at the turn, but we'll see.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll see.
News.
Yeah. So working on that one. I can't guarantee that one yet, but definitely
certainly breakfast
and lunch, and then some drinks in between.
Yep. So. And the amazing Garden of the Gods.
Yes.
Kissing Camels Golf Club out there. Beautiful course. And of course the vistas. Obviously both you and I have said October 6th. That could be 8 feet of snow, or it could be a beach day.
It could be absolutely beautiful. That's what we're going to roll with.
Well, it has been the last several years, so I think we're on a good trajectory here. But hopefully the gods will look down on us and bless us with a beautiful day. Even if it's a little chilly, it'll be gorgeous out there nonetheless.
Maybe we put the umbrella hats in the swag bags, and that way if it's raining, we're good. Right?
Okay. All right. Just there you go. Hey.
No, it's going to be a beautiful day.
It's good marketing. It's going to be a beautiful day regardless. And those contributions go right to the Exodus Road. What else? We're doing some new things out there to give some more marketing value and CP value for our sponsors. I know we're using some of the physical location of the course and some of the attributes of the course to be more advantageous for our sponsors. So when you think sponsors, who do you think of?
Like as far as vendors?
So, anything.
Yeah.
I mean, who can come out and do this?
Oh, anybody and everybody. And the best part is that as a sponsor too, you have your industry specialty exclusivity. So for instance, Flatiron Steel will be out there. They're one of the steel manufacturers in town, side paneling, roof and material. Super excited. They've been 3 years strong with us.
Nice.
And then we have a couple banks coming out. We've got a couple, like a personal injury attorney coming out. And then we also have just player wise, some of the ones who always ask in January, what day is the golf tournament? But we've got Griffith's Blessing, not Griffith's Blessing, sorry. GH Phipps.
Oh, GH Phipps.
Coming out.
Okay.
Yep. So
very good.
Fun time. They're actually helping us build our new building that's opening November 3rd down on the south end of town. Super excited. But yeah, they've been 3 years strong as well with us. We've got a IT company coming out. We have a lot of different vendors. So each sponsor will be placed at a hole. And at the current moment, you get selectivity on that hole.
Okay. Very good.
So yeah, and I will do my best to absolutely make sure everybody is at the hole that they feel is most prime for their company. So
very good.
Excited.
Well, we're coming in for a landing here, folks, but I want to encourage you to go to ambassadorsforhopecos.com and check out the website, get yourself registered, get a foursome out there, make a day of it, have some fun, take a Monday?
Yep.
Take a Monday and just call it. Say, I am going out, I am not going to work today, I am going out to support the case for extracting people from a life of trafficking. Human trafficking, ladies and gentlemen, let that sink in. It doesn't bode well. No. It doesn't sit well. And I want you to get involved. I want to encourage you to get involved. Don't stand by and watch this. Get involved. Make a contribution. Those contributions matter because these folks are going to put man hours towards getting those kids and those other folks out of this life. So it does matter. And we appreciate your participation. Thank you to our sponsors who are returning. Thank you to Colorado Springs Orthopedic Group for being a great partner on this.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you. Fox 21 will be out there as well as our fellow TV partners. So let's have some fun. The Exodus Road is the website to check out, learn about it, get involved. See you next week.
You've been tuned in to Business Digest Weekly with Dirk Hobbs. If you'd like to be considered for a spot on our show, email us at info@coloradomediagroup.com.